Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Kitty and I'm an academic surgical trainee in the UK. Recently I released a video about my Notion tool and this year showing how I use my Notion dashboard, project checker and various things to organise my life and to organise a knowledge database. As promised, here is a video showing a step-to-step guide to how I set up my Notion dashboard, which includes a Pomodoro timer, a connected to-do list, as well as a daily calendar. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. Okay, so here is my Notion dashboard that I use on a daily basis. We've got the Pomodoro timer, the daily planner, and the to-do list down here. So we're basically going to do the same thing today. So we're going to go ahead and start by creating a new page. So let's press add page, and you can call this whatever you like. I'm just going to call it dash, so it's slightly different from my actual dashboard. And I like to make it full width, and you can make it small text as well. To start, we're going to use some columns, and this just allows us to basically separate out into a couple of blocks. So let's plan it out. So that's going to be our Pomodoro timer, and then there is the other column. Just drag this over here, and that's going to be our daily planner over here. And then down below, if we do columns again and do 3, that's going to be our to-do list 1. That's going to be our to-do list 2, and over here is going to be our to-do list 3. And then basically, if we go further down again, then down here is going to be our master planner. So the easiest thing first out the way is the Pomodoro timer. I'll put the link down below, but essentially you can find these widgets that people have designed for Notion, and all you have to do is basically paste it, embed it. So the one that I use is the aesthetic Pomodoro timer, and essentially you want to paste the link and then you want to click create embed. If we just wait a moment, then it pops out, perfect, lovely, and it works out of the box just like that with a Pomodoro timer that you can start, pause, change to a short break, long break, and then you can edit the duration as well as the theme of your dashboard as well. So we can change it to say aura. Let's just see what that looks like. We probably have to save changes. There we go. So now it looks different. I prefer the Ghibli look, but anyway, that's that. And then basically to set the rest of these up, it kind of depends on the most important element of the entire dashboard, which is your master to-do list planner. So down here, we're going to start by creating an inline database like so. So this is going to be our master to-do list, and this is where everything else, all of these are going to be connected to. So you can make your to-do list however you like. I usually have, the name of the task. I usually like to have a status column, which allows us to select not started, in progress, or done. Like that. You can have some tags, like is this going to be an academic piece of work, clinical piece of work, some chores or something like that. And you can say like this is task 1. And we'll change this to just a single select as well. And then you can have other things like, let's say the priority of your job, which is going to be urgent, routine, or low. And you can change all these colors as well to whatever you like to reflect its property. So that looks good to me, like a traffic light system. And then I usually have a deadline for a date as well. This is what will allow us to link this database and the task to your daily calendar. So it's really important to have some sort of date on there. If you don't like the look of any of these, you can obviously hide these properties, but you do need them in order to do the kind of sort and the separate lists like I do. And then I usually have estimated. I keep typing the name of the columns in here, that's my fault. So I want a number, and that's kind of estimated hours that I need to put into it. And then I'll have the actual time that I put into it as well. And then essentially, if you want the kind of progress bar thing that I've got that I showcased in my other video, what you want to do is formula. And to edit the formula, you basically want to do the actual time divided by the estimated time. And so, for example, if my estimated time is 1 hour and I've worked on it for half an hour, it will automatically calculate that I've done half of the time that I've allocated myself. And then to make it pretty, you can go into edit property and you can change it into either a progress bar or a ring like that, and it will showcase, because it's division, we should change that to 1, and now it showcases exactly you've done half. And I usually hide the number as well, like this, and you can make it smaller, etc., make it pretty, whatnot. And then finally I have the text, and this is our linked project. So if, like me, you decide to have another project tracker or a page where you want to link any of these tasks to, you can do it here, and then you can then create another linked database to show those tasks. For a demonstration of how it works, do check out my other video where I detailed how it works on my Notion and how the workspace plays on it itself. So let's just create a few more other tasks for the benefit of this demonstration, so we can sort of demonstrate how everything works. And let's say the deadline's like today, next week, or some other time. Lovely. And then we probably just, yeah, so we'll stick with that. You can obviously create some other tags as well in different categories that you like, but we'll just keep it nice and simple like this. And then just in this master to-do list alone, you can do filters and sorts. So for example, we can sort by the deadline. So, you know, the stuff that is due first will come up first. You can use filter to make it so that completed tasks don't come up. So all you have to do is filter by status, and you want to put is not complete. So for example, if I now say we're completed task 3, it will disappear off our board. And that is the kind of most basic filter that you should do, but you can add some other filters and sorts as you like, as you need. So now that we've got our master to-do list done, we can make our smaller to-do list separated into a couple of categories so that it's slightly more minimalistic, easy on the eyes, and it also separates things by category, which I like. So the way you do this is do slash again, and what you want to do is type linked, and you can see this linked view of database, that's what you want. And then you need to select your data source. So down here we can see is the master to-do list on dash. So if we select that, as you can see, it comes up with the exact same list of stuff we've got down here, and it's done so that if I change stuff on here, it will change it down in the master to-do list as well. I'm pointing at my screen like you can tell what I'm doing, but you can't. What we can do now is create a nicer view of this. So what we can do is go into options, go into layout, and you can change it to, for example, a list view, and now it shows up like this. And you can choose what properties are displayed. So I usually like to have the tags are useful, I usually have the deadline on there, and I will have the status as well. And then in the status, because I don't want it to be a big tag that takes up lots of space and says in progress, you can say to show as a checkbox. And now it'll come up as the task, type or tag that you've chosen for it, the deadline, and a checkbox for completing it. The annoying thing is when you take it off like that, it just comes off as a tick and becomes completed immediately, whereas if you put in progress, it'll become this sort of dash in the middle of the blue box thing to show that it's in progress. So you can then go to filter, and you can add a filter and say, you know, in this column I only wanted to see my academic tasks, and now it will only show up with the tasks that are tagged with academic. And you can do similar things like I only want to see tasks that are urgent in this column, or if you create other tags, you can say, you know, I only want to see tasks that are reminders in this column, and you can set it up however you like really. As long as you have a tag, you can then filter it with these little mini to-do lists. And if you don't like this name of the list here, you can basically just go and hide it, and then you can name it whatever you want. And then you can basically duplicate and paste the same thing in your other columns as well to create other to-do lists. You can also use the same format to create these lists in any other pages in your entire Notion workspace. It is not tied to this page at all. So if you have another page that is relevant to your academic work and you want a little section showing what sort of task is awaiting to be done, you can copy and paste this into that and it will work beautifully. So finally, now that we've got all that set up, we can set up our calendar as well. So down here on my daily planner, I'm going to type /calendar, and that's going to create a calendar database. We are going to go with a new database for this one. So we're going to call this calendar 1 for the sake of the video. So you can see this basically creates the kind of generic calendar view of the month. You can go backwards and forwards and you can create cards in each of these dates as well. So October 1st, and then you can create a bunch of properties or whatever. But what we want is a daily planner, not a full calendar showing us everything. Well, that is just if you want it. So what we can do is we can go and head and create a new V. And we'll go with the board V. And then what's important here, you can alter the card size or whatever you want, but you need to go to group by, and you want to group by date. And then you can sort by newest date first, so then today's one will come up, and you can do by day or by week or whatever you like really, and you can color columns, hide empty groups, whatever you want. So now you can see that our date for today comes up here, and if we go back to our calendar, if we make some examples for previous days, like so, on our board view, you can see that today's date will come up first, and then yesterday and the day before yesterday. So then now that we've got the basic setup in each of these cards, you can select a couple of properties. So you can do things like weather and just do select, and then you can do things like, oh, is it sunny, is it rainy, whatever. And again, you can change the colors of all these. You can add emojis, you can add anything that you like to make it pretty. You can add things like your mood, and again you can say like, oh, happy, sad, whatever. So that's all on there. Let's say we're happy because it's good to be happy. And then you can do other sort of habit checklists and things like that. So for example, if I'm trying to make it a habit to exercise more, then that can be a checkbox for the day. And then what you can do is go to options again, go to properties, and you can show all of these things in your card. So it will show up every day looking like that, with your checkboxes and your tags that you select on there. And similarly on the calendar view, again, you can sort of decide what you want to show, but if I click mood, then you can use this like a mood board basically and track your emotions throughout the month. So then if you click into the card, now we've got a blank space to work with. I usually go with create a template. That means that every day when you have a new card, you don't need to copy and paste stuff or redo it all again. So let's go ahead and create a template, and let's call this our daily template. And then usually what I have in each of these cards, and again, you can customize this however you want to, whatever you like. But usually I like to have my to-do list of the tasks I need to do for the day, as well as some space for some journaling stuff. So, let's say to do, and then let's say journal, right? And we can make these, let's say headings like that. So it looks nice and distinct like that. And now we're going to use the linked database option again to show your to-do tasks for the day. So what you're going to do is, again, you want the linked view of a database, and you want your master to-do list on your dash or whatever it is you called it. And again, this will come up with the list that we want. So now what we have to do is go into filter, and we want the deadline, and we want the deadline is today. You can, on Notion, set it to deadline is on or before or blah, 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 if you want to clarify that. Or you can go into advanced filter and you can say, you can change deadline is today. The problem with this is for the card that you use today, it'll obviously show today's cards, but then when you want to look back in the past, because they're also set to card is today, then it will be whatever day you view it, so it won't retrospectively show the task that you actually complete on the actual day. So for that reason, I prefer to use the custom date option and just select the date today. It's not that hard to do, and it won't take you a lot of time in the morning when you want to do this, because then you can just go to every day, you can just go back to filter, click on the rule, click on that, and then change it to whatever date that you know this is on. And you can see now that we've done that filter, it will show us only the tasks that are assigned for today. And for me personally, on my daily templates, I would prefer to be able to see the tasks that I completed as well, and I don't want them to disappear. So I'm just going to basically remove this filter. And this means that if I complete this task, you can see in the background here it's disappeared off our master to-do list, and it's disappeared off our separate list view as well, but it has remained on this particular table here. So now that we've completed this template, that was all the template. So now going back to the card for today, all you need to do is click daily template and it will populate with the things that we set up. And so that is the gist of basically how to set up the dashboard that I've got. Obviously mine is a little bit more set up in that there's pretty colors to things, but this is the basic bare bones of the skeleton, and it's up to you to decide how you want to change that or organize it to your needs. The thing that I want to show you as well finally is that unfortunately for the current version of Notion, there's no automated function for me to say, can you create a post like this every day in the calendar for me automatically? So what it means is that if you're just using native Notion itself, then when a new date comes up, you have to create a new card yourself, name it, you know, October 2nd, change the date, and then go in there and click the template and do all this stuff. So one way to sort of make that process slightly easier and save you a little bit of time is that you can use some third-party apps to automate that process. For me, I use a third-party app called Zapier. They offer some free plans as well as some premium plans as well, depending on your needs. If you just need this one thing to work for your Notion, it will be perfectly workable in the free plan. So I'm just going to show you one that I've set up for my Notion workspace and so show you sort of how it's set up and how it works. So this is the trigger, or the zap as they like to call it on the app. So you've got a trigger which I've set to the app is scheduled by Zapier. So it's just every day at midnight, I want you to trigger this action. And then so the action that this results in is create a database item in Notion. So you can link Zapier to your Notion, just need to sign in on your Notion account. And then what I want it to do is to create a database item. You select the database that you want. So for me, that's my calendar database. You can change things like what the name of it is, so I can tell it to automatically name it the date of today or whatever day it's going to be. And then I can tell it to put certain things in the properties if that's what I want it to do. Unfortunately, in the content, I can't make it select a template that I've got on my Notion, so I still need to do that by hand. But by using this automation, it means that every morning when I wake up, a new post is created in the calendar on that day, named to the correct thing, ready for me to use. So it just saves a little bit of time. And that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this useful and you're thinking that you might incorporate this into your own Notion workspace, please do leave a like below and comment to let me know. If you have any other ideas about how I can improve my workspace as well, please feel free to comment and let me know. Always looking to improve things in my own Notion workspace. Don't forget to subscribe as well for any future content, but that's it for now and I'll see you next time.